What's up, everyone? How's it going? Decide not to put that green overlay. So I'm just gonna wait for a while people get here. Hello. Let me pop out this chat window from YouTube. There we go. So we'll get started soon, maybe in a minute or two. And I'm not doing, by the way, the Q&A reveal. The questions for this time, for this week, were just, they weren't very good questions. I'm not even going to bother with that. We're going to go straight into the portfolio reviews. All right. All right, and we already have a moron right here. And that's why I've made it a point to open up these web addresses on my other monitor that's not being screencast. All right, that's fine. I'm sorry for calling you more. I thought you were trying to be, you know. Where the hell is the other thing here? All right. I'm going to start them. The reviews. Let's see. Based on... Yeah, we'll start just from up here, from beginning of today. This one was posted just an hour ago, so that's fine. I'll still do it. And so basically what we do is we're going to have a portfolio review. Again, we're skipping the Q&A because the questions this week just weren't very interesting. So we're going straight into the portfolio review. Now, I can never get through all of the portfolio reviews, assuming I do this for an hour, which this time it may be less than an hour because I'm not doing the Q&A thing. So if I don't get through all of them, and by the way, make sure you go to the Discord server right here and you submit, and that's in the link here in the YouTube description. Submit your portfolio URL in the portfolio submissions channel right here, and I'll just do them in the order that I receive them. However, I may not be able to get to all of them. If you do want me to do your portfolio review, then I will do it though if you send a super chat. All right, so that means, you know, in YouTube there's this little money icon. It means you pay me and I will do it. All right, and you could choose the amount that you want to pay me, and I'll do those at the end. All right, so if I didn't get to yours, and I'm about to quit or whatever, if you send one over, I'll do it real quick. I'll do a portfolio review. All right, let's get started here. So let me first check the chat here real quick. Make sure. All right, thanks. Okay, what's the matter of having Q&A in the title? Well, I did remove it from the title, but I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like it came back. Oh well, no big deal. No Q&A though. Yeah, if you already sent if I already did a portfolio review of yours in one of the previous weeks and you haven't updated it significantly, then don't even worry about it because I don't want to review the same damn thing, obviously. All right, so just if you did submit it and I already did your review, please just delete your thing in Discord. I don't want to review this, and it's hard for me to remember what exactly I reviewed because I do a lot of them. So we're going to start up here with Osmoles link. Let's open this up. Okay. Here we go. All right. Create your next product. What are we going to build? All right. Not sure about this question mark right there. Yeah, it's simple. I mean, you can pretty much read this. It feels like it needs something, though. The very simple underlined standard links up at the top, just it feels bland, in my opinion. But still, the core fundamental is there. You can read it. You can see it's good contrast. All right. Okay, this seems familiar, but I don't know. Big problem here is with the white space. You have this about here. I mean, you need to push this stuff way down. Again, I'll just do this real quick. We'll do like a margin top of 50 pixels. There. Looks so much better. Also, don't underline the link here, I mean, the title, because it's not a link that you can click. It looks like it's something that you should be able to click, but it's not, so get rid of that underline. And space out these different sections, more space between them. Again, more space, more white space. I wouldn't be mixing in all these different fonts. You have two different, you have a sans serif font, and then you have a serif font, and then you have another different type of serif font. So things, you need to try to be more simplistic, stick to the same font. You can get away with mixing serif and sans serif, but you have to know what you're doing. Yeah. Again, more space. That's basically what you need. You have no white space, margin or padding between most of your elements. So I would fix that big time. All right. All right. Coming down here next is this dude, Necody, if that's how it's pronounced. All right. Okay, now this is an improvement over the other one. All right, this logo, I'm not too sure about. I mean, it feels almost cartoonish just based on the type that you're using, and it's also kind of small. It is kind of small. It's kind of hard to read this web developer, and you have this unusual big space between both of the words. I would probably try to rethink the type here in the logo. Again, this isn't UI design, that's identity design. But this section over here, I mean, it contrasts well with the background. You have a gradient going here, it works. This is kind of too small. It's almost like an afterthought. See this part right here, where you're letting people know what you do. This is important. Your name's pretty important, but this stuff right here, your contact information, I would think that would come in terms of prioritizing the importance of your content. That would be third on the list. So the most important thing would be this part, I would say. So and right now, the way you're designing it, it's an afterthought in terms of what is called visual hierarchy. So I would give this much more emphasis, make this much larger. It's cool that you're doing, you know, some sort of animation on it, but yeah, make this a more prominent feature. All right, scroll on down here. All right, so I would definitely probably split this up into two columns, especially, I mean, at least on this large desktop version. Split this up into two columns, left align the text in both columns. So you would have this, what I do would be over here somewhere, and then these six, or I don't know, each one of these sections, split them up into two columns, and kind of maybe you can put them in a card-based layout or something like that. Right now, it just feels, just having everything centered like this in such a wide space, it's hard for the eye to read all of this. So definitely try to condense them. Look into card design, and that'll help you out. Again, I would try to structure this a little bit more. They're kind of running into each other. There's not much separation. Again, I would look up what's called visual hierarchy in design, and figure out how you can emphasize these things a little bit more. I make these a little bit larger, maybe contrast a bit more, maybe make them white or something like that, because right now you just can't tell much of a separation between these elements. And if you're on this big desktop, you know, on these big viewport of a desktop resolution, you have so much more room to work with stuff here. These are tiny little icons. I would probably make them larger. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. All right, so let's open this one up. It's from Mapp F, or Mapp Fix. All right. So the first portfolio I did, 2 portfolio designs or reviews back at the very beginning of this, I was mentioning, because this is almost the same type of layout. It is the same, almost same exact structure of a layout where there's not even, well, there's something here. I don't know why I could click right here, but yeah, there's no logo, but there's a right aligned menu. This menu design is much more effective than the other one. The other one was just kind of a lot bland, and this works even though it's much more simple. I like this type. It contrasts well. You worked in, you know, a primary color here or accent color, which works well. This is easy to read. You can tell there's good visual hierarchy. There's separation between your name and then, you know, what exactly you do, and then the ways to contact. So everything is solid. You know, a good use of the background watermark photograph. Some people will try to bring it out a little bit more so you can see more, but then you lose contrast with the stuff on top. So this is I have no gripes so far. All right. Who is Fabian? All right, personal info. All right, so here's one issue. You have this center aligned, but then you have, and this is center aligned as well, but because this is left aligned, it's kind of throwing the flow off in a sense. And I can see that these are different sections. So you have personal info, my skills. Trying to think, it's definitely it's throwing things off, and what's throwing it off is this right here. I mean, this is left aligned, and then the immediately 2 elements above it, they're both centered. So I'm trying to think of a good way to kind of create separation between this, and so this isn't so confusing and throwing it off. One way to do that would probably be to wrap this in a container, like kind of in a card. And I mean, I'm not even sure if I'll be able to do that here. I'll see what I have to work with. Right here. Okay, let me try doing a background. We'll just put gray for now. And then we'll do padding. And then, actually, all right, that's fine. And then, I don't know, maybe border radius real quick. And then I would scale the face down, and then make sure that this is centered, you know, in between your the avatar, and that would make it flow a little bit better. Plus, this is coming off too much to the left side. I would make it come over here, but that way it's separated a little bit more. So if we went from this to I mean, do that from this. So this is the original. Spending a little bit too much time on that. Everything's pretty good. This is a card-based layout, just pretty solid. The only thing I would say is the full stack development, and then this stuff down here doesn't really, there's not enough difference between them. So I could, you know, you can solve that in a number of ways. Maybe make this a tad bit lighter. Or you can even put them in little tags. So just put a background on each one of these and separate them that way instead of a comma. Like maybe a real light gray or something like that. overall, it's pretty solid. A good call to action. The forms looks like it's easy to see and read. All right, good stuff. All right, moviefinder.com. I'm opening up off screen. All right, here we go. It's actually a pretty decent keyword domain. Keyword domain. All right. First thing, this top beginner graphic. No way, man. It's hard to read. I know we created separation here with this. There's like a black glow emitting from the type, but it's still too hard to read. What you need to do is take this image, this background, wherever it's at. If I could find it. Oh, it's right in header. Okay. And I would make the opacity of this background image, take it way down. It's contrasting way too much. That way you can immediately be able to see exactly what's happening in the foreground elements. So is there a background opacity? I don't know. I'm being slow right now. Well, this will take everything down, but the type of opacity I'm talking about is like that much, or that much for just for the background. Obviously, not the type sitting on top of it. All right, and then this right here, I would, yeah, when you have this large desktop resolution. I would definitely not scale out the entire search bar, the whole thing. When we're doing this, if we're coming in, okay, there's some issues responsively, obviously. It's overlaying on top. But yeah, I would put the search button over here on this desktop resolution. Make the search button really stick out, not just this gray color. And I did a video recently about call to actions, buttons and stuff like that. So check that out. Thanks for that. All right, code cat. All right, copy link. What the hell? My toolbar isn't working. All right. All right, so looking at this, sorry, I was just looking at the YouTube chat stuff, making sure my audio still works and all that. Wow, 169 people watching. Holy crap, that's a new one. Usually these are not that popular. All right, so looking at this one, I like the colors right away. Purple's really in these days. It works though. Overall, I have a positive vibe from this, you know, just kind of looking back on it. I like the colors. Everything's contrasting well. I would say though that this is a little bit, this could be structured a little bit better. It seems there's a lot of type occurring right here, a lot of different styles of type, and I think probably if you scaled this down a little bit or left it the same and then scaled up the name perhaps a little bit more, and maybe try to rework this text right here. Overall, it's not bad though. The call to action, this works as well. They don't always have to be unique colors or whatever. Maybe space them out just a tad bit more. But yeah, although I'm not sure about this section right here. This is just kind of hanging off there in the middle, when you could probably do something different. Although you're only 14, so you don't have a lot of content. But still, probably think of doing that a little bit differently. It doesn't look like there's anything else I can really critique. This is the page here to check out. But no, this is solid. I mean, especially for 14, so that's good. We got a YouTube. I'm going to click on this. What's going on over here? Oh, we got some loud music. All right, cool. Well, I'm not gonna do a YouTube portfolio review. All right, thanks for that. Let's go here to Cuddle.io. Open link. All right, by the way, guys, before I do this next review, just to remind everybody, I'm doing portfolio reviews. You can go to the Discord server right here in portfolio submissions and submit your portfolio for me to review. I may not get to yours because I'm just doing them in order from when they were received. If I don't get to yours and you really want me to, just send a super chat, and which is the little feature in the chat area where you pay me money, and I will get to yours at the end. All right, Cuddle.io. It's not loading. What is going on? We got some issues. Yeah, we got some issues here. I don't know what's happening. Oh, wait. Oh, this is the one that I did before. So I'm not sure if you maybe updated it or something, because I remember having issues with it loading last time and it wouldn't load right. But still, I do remember doing the critique last week of this, I believe. And I'll just do a really quick one. This doesn't contrast enough, taking your business to the world. It's kind of like a duller type of orange, a darker. Get that contrast a lot more. You can get the contrast by darkening this background more, or by making this lighter. And then this curve thing right here, there's not enough white space between the description. It's like real close over here, so there's not a lot of room for things to breathe. So I would definitely do that. Rework this the logo, especially this color. Again, it's a mid gray with this type of color, and the brightness and lack of brightness of this color, they clash. It's hard to read. So I would definitely work on that stuff. Looking at this, you need to separate out these titles and space them out further. More white space at the top and bottom of this element. Get rid of this line. It just kind of adds color. It's not really worth it. I would align things differently. You have text right here, and this call to action is right here at the edge of the browser almost, and then we have things that are just shifted over quite a bit unnecessarily. Move them over to create more consistent flow in terms of alignment. Scale those icons down quite a bit. They're too large. But still, you want more white space at the top and bottom. Looking at this, again, I would make this smaller and probably left align it and give it more white space on the right and left. Let me just show you real quick what I mean. So this, we have text align center. Getting rid of that immediately. Font size, 35 pixels. Let's try. Well, we'll try 25 pixels. And then also we'll do padding left. You have 1 REM. Let's try 3 and 3. And then line height, 1.5. All right, and that's a much better presentation in my opinion than what it was. So if I refresh, that's what it's not as effective as the change I just made. Same thing. Do the same thing with all of these. Left align, because whenever you have two columns and you're centering text, it doesn't work in my opinion. I mean, it can in certain situations, but not this. Good contact form down here, easy to see. Although left align these, I would not be centering all these elements right here. Center the contact does, but then left align the labels. It just throws everything off because these start right here, and then the eye has to shift over here in the middle to read it. So I would change that. All right. Thanks for that submission. All right, 192 watching. Good stuff. Okay, let's keep on going. All right, keep it real. Okay, Hank.io. Or is that Hank? I don't know. Ooh, we got some animation. Ooh, this is nice. If you actually made this yourself, I'd be impressed. I'm gonna refresh it so we can all see. Got a loader there. All right. UI, UX, designer and front-end developer. Okay. All right. Got a logo here. Although I'm not finding the relevance of the this letter mark symbolism. I'm not sure, like, if it's based on HB or it's not. Definitely not. I don't think it is, but no, whatever. I'm not gonna think about it too much. It could just be something entirely separate, though. Let's check this out. All right, good color scheme. I like it. Nice animation. Micro animation at the top. Nice. I'm gonna click me in a nutshell. Oh, this is nice. Unable to catch a ball. Okay. Nice, very nice lines that I'm seeing here. And there was a nice animation between these pages. Very good, very good. I don't have anything bad to say about this. Definitely modern. Awesome. Everything is solid here. I like the transition of the color, the page background. Awesome stuff. Good, thanks for that. I have no critiques. That is awesome. All right. Jonas, we're gonna do. All right. The logo really, it looks too big. So I would scale this down quite a bit. Especially in relation to the size of the navigation, the text. I mean, the navigation seems right on size in terms of the font size of a navigation. Yeah, that's a little bit too large. And then just slight issue with alignment. You know, you have all this text right here on this horizontal path, and then the eye has to go up, and it just shifts up by like 15 pixels or 10 pixels or whatever. I would try to get this in line perfectly center, and it seems like a minute thing, like not a big deal, but it really does help the overall appearance of the website, because it's helping with consistency. Right here, I would definitely work on your line height. This is spaced out too far, especially in relation to the tag down here, or the slogan, or whatever it says. So it's just kind of uneven. I would definitely work on that. Get this up closer. Maybe make it bolder or larger. If you're not going to have anything over here, you can definitely just center this stuff. Center everything. This headline, the sub headline, and make it larger because you have the room. And then the call to action. All right. Nice. I like this more modern design. It kind of with this line coming in here. This works. I like that. It's something we're seeing more often. I think the previous example had stuff like that. Certain little line elements that are overlaying. So that's nice. Nothing really too much to critique here. This looks good. Although with it, I was assuming when I came down, like this would kind of, you know, go from this lower opacity, something that obviously that comes into view more, but that's a small, minute thing. Yeah, like we have this in full, you know, with 100% visibility, but this is staying. That's kind of weird. So I would probably just make that stick out. Everything's pretty solid here. I like these. These are designed pretty well. The point one, it's a gray. I would match the hue to this background, so it would be lighter or pink because it kind of clashes. But yeah, everything's solid here. So with the exception, yeah, this is probably the weakest part up here. But so scale down the logo, I would say, and center all this if you have nothing else, and that's that. All right. So who was that document? All right. Open link. right, how long have I been doing? All right, it's been 30 minutes already. Wow. All right. So this is interesting. This is kind of like a card-based layout, which is you know, something that you usually don't associate with like a full website being in like this sort of card-shaped design. All right, so the first thing that I would say is sticking out is this area right here. It feels just too cluttered. I would if you're gonna have icons there, I'd probably space them out a little bit further. Let's see what else here. I would probably move this up a little bit higher, a little bit closer. And let's see what happens when we click on this. Okay, well, that's not bad. I'm not sure about the background. I would maybe make this effect a little bit less. Maybe push it in the back a tad bit more. Nothing really too much to critique here. Projects. All right, that's not bad. Contact, pretty simple contact. Nothing's really too wrong here, not that I see. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole card-based approach with the avatar, and usually that's a UI element, not the focal point, but it could work. I mean, the about me skills that's the one area I think really needs the most work. It needs to be separated in some way and kind of spaced out a little bit as well. All right, thanks for that. Sometimes it's hard for me to do some of these reviews because I honestly don't know how I immediately feel about, you know, the way it looks, and I think that was one of those cases. Like I couldn't really pinpoint what I would change on it. Let's go ahead and continue. So that was Gilo. All right, we'll do the next one. All right, so this one has that animation. I'll reload it here. Let me check the chats real quick before I do this. All right. All right. If I want to spam, I don't want to spam too much, but if I don't get to yours at the end of this, you can do the super chat route, and I will get to it because I think we have a lot of submissions. All right, so let's refresh this because it had some animation. All right, so the first thing I would change is you have hello, I'm Adam. That's fine. Go ahead, keep it. I would separate this this text right here, these two sentences. Maybe make them a tad bit smaller. And you could probably even get away with putting them maybe on a at least on the desktop resolution like this. Put them in like at a second column and just have them over here, changing up the size a little bit. I'm not sure if I will be able to have control over this specific type. Yeah, okay, there. Opacity is 1, maybe 0.6. All right, and then, oops, I don't want to do that. I did not want to do that. There we go. Margin top, and then font size. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe not that much. Maybe just at 0.8. Yeah, something like that. I would just like to see it separated. You could also make this. You could also make this bold. So there's several ways to change things up. Let me just refresh, and we'll get back to scrolling down here a bit. All right, my GitHub projects. I might even use a different color for that for the background of these. Something that really stands out well. Something with high saturation. But that's still cool. This works. All right. I might separate these up into separate lines between each of these few things. It's kind of like almost like a wall of text, even though there's not much text there, but because it's so large, it feels like that. And it's a little bit hard to read on this. I mean, even though it's contrasts well and it's big, it's still kind of like, I'm not sure where I should start. So I would just maybe put some spaces after these couple sentences just to separate out a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. It is simple and everything, I mean, everything else is spot on in terms of solid design fundamentals. I would even, well, yeah, make it just a little bit smaller. Think about maybe putting these into two columns, because you have the space on this large version, but everything's all solid here. I mean, I know you're going for the absolute very simple route. And yeah, good stuff. All right, who's next? That was Paola. Open link. All right, so I would space things out a little bit differently when it comes to these three elements. So if I go here, get rid of that margin top. I mean, it's a small change, but not much. And then this element right here for the list, I would push down even more. So you have 30 pixels, go like 70 maybe. Well, maybe not that much, maybe like, yeah, something like that. So from this to that, yeah, just move this up mainly. I'd say that's the main thing to move up. I'm not too sure about the skewed image over here. I would try to, I mean, I know this is ultra simple, but with this image over here, I would definitely try to rework this in a way. I'm almost trying to think of maybe putting this in some type of container of sorts. But this picture, I would change. Yeah, it has the outer glow and stuff. I just think it doesn't really fit too well. And I'm a fan of having the circular avatar type thing. So I would just maybe wrap this in a circle, maybe put it to the left of the name over here. And then you can make this other stuff maybe in a second column over here, or maybe even centered, and make it a little bit larger. All right, coming down here. Yeah, I thought maybe this was just a one page. I didn't see the scroll bar over here. I would definitely put this in a container of like some sort of color of some sort, and then bring up this stuff down here so you don't have to scroll so far, and that way you can at least see on this large, you know, the desktop version, if there was a container right here, and you could still see maybe where it says skills would be in view, like right here. All right. Definitely change this on demand news. That's cluttered way too much. Oh, and I remember reviewing this, I think. That looks really, yeah. I remember reviewing this this project. But this on-demand news overlaying, definitely changed that up. Bad readability right here. Let's see here. Yeah, and the run website, I mean, having the names, yeah, going on top, there's just not enough contrast, and it's not going to work for every, I mean, it could work depending on what's behind it, but in this case, it's not working. In this case, definitely not working. Text over text, not good. All right. You're getting a lot right, though. There's just a few things, but you know, like they say, the devil's in the details. It's just small changes make a big impact. All right, so let's check this one out. How many do we have? Oh, okay. We have a ton. There's no way I'm getting to all of these probably. All right. All right, the next one. All right, so we have text alignment issues right out of the gate. And also white space and margin padding issues. First of all, we're gonna need to push this down big time, like all right, so I just pushed it down by like 100 pixels yeah, from the top. Then also we're gonna push this down big time, margin bottom by like okay, what the hell, why isn't that working? There we go. So I would I would even push this down to maybe a little bit further, and you could kind of create like a hero section right here to where this stuff can just breathe on its own and have maybe a different, slightly different background color. And then push this down even more, this stuff, the tools and who we are. And then let's see how this is working. This is just too wide. You don't need this much space for this menu right here. So I would definitely change this. Not sure how I can change it. I'm not being too intelligent here. I haven't used Flexbox in a really long time, but I would definitely get this maybe right here. So it's ending right here. Get it end right here, and that would be better. And then we have an alignment issue. This Our Projects button should start right here. And then this copyright, stick that somewhere way down far, so that it's not like that. This is annoying me. Oh, it's call 6. All right, that's better. Maybe we'll do call 4. Well, now let's see here. We'll just do like a padding on the inside. Padding left. All right, that's a lot better. There we go. A lot better already. And then this, I would make that, I would just put that right here. And that would fit better. I'd put this inside. Where's the actual button? All right, so right there. Yeah, we don't want that. Let me expand this and then put this in here after the type. And then, of course, expand that button back out. It got screwed up, and then push it down. All right, so we went, so going from this to that, it's a lot more effective. I like the colors and contrast. There's a lot of stuff, right? I like the type. I would space these out just a tad bit more. But yeah. All right, let's continue on. Emma-Designs. We're at 43 minutes. All right, so right there. Open link. Doing portfolio reviews. Just another reminder for the new people showing up. You can submit your portfolio here in the portfolio submission section, and the link is, the Discord link's in the YouTube description. Submit it here. Here's the thing. If you submit it now, I'm not going to be getting to you anyways. The only way, if you're new and you haven't submitted it yet, or if you're one of the people down here, the only way I'm going to do it is through the super chat thing. So if you send a super chat, I will definitely do it during this live stream. But otherwise, you're probably going to have to wait till next week's live stream, because I do this every week, either at 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m., depending on whatever. All right, check this one out. All right, so this is one of those situations that I mentioned before where a background color, or a background photograph, photograph background is competing way too much with the foreground elements on top of it. Here in this case, we have this text. This is also needs to be pushed up, way up here. Just doesn't make sense in this regard because it's way pushed down. And somebody's calling me. 1 second. And so you would need to take this background image wherever it's at. Let's find it here. Here it is. And then we would do RGBA wait, no. What am I doing? How do we get this damn opacity down of just the background? That is confusing the hell out of me right now. Someone mentioned in the chat. Because I don't think we could just put in opacity. That's a background. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? I'm having a slow moment today. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh well. Basically, you need to bring down the opacity of the background so that the foreground sticks out. Or you could do a linear gradient. That's another technique, going from the bottom up, like starting dark, and then fading it out that way. Coming out here, I would space it out a little bit more on the bottom of this. You have a decent amount up here, but then it's pretty close right here. But that's a small gripe. Pretty solid here so far. This works. All right, things are sectioned off well. That's good, and there's white space on the top. There's a good amount, and in bottom. A lot of designers, new designers, get that wrong for some reason. Looking at this, pretty solid overall. Yeah, just this is the biggest issue up here, and it's a small change. You know, you could take the photo, you know, back in the Photoshop or something, and just really either make it really light, and then make this black, or the opposite, make it really dark, and then make this foreground elements, you know, white as they are. All right, thanks. Yeah, I'm not on my game today, I think. All right, let's see. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, I guess I'll check that one out. Okay, background blend mode is an option if you want to do it through CSS to lighten that. Let's see if that works, by the way. Okay, it's not working in this context. Oh well, something to experiment with at a different time. All right, so just another designer developer. I'll check out a couple of these. Yeah, there's not enough here really to critique in that particular instance. The Fox pen. Yeah, that's an interesting take on a logo. It's not bad from a logo design perspective. Here's a UI. Looks pretty solid to me. Again, I'm never a fan of doing the whole centering the button when everything else is, you know, starting on a certain line. I would make this probably span all the way, like the card number element spans all the way. Just make this span all the way. But overall, pretty solid in terms of color and such. Pretty simple logo. I like that. That's pretty. Yeah, very effective logo with the racetrack and the two O's. And one more. This is just looking at what I see here, too large. The text is too large, and in relation to everything else, I would scale that down maybe by about 20%. And yeah, but overall, it's pretty solid stuff though. Nothing disastrous. Let's do another one, Nate. All right. So these three elements should be separated out, or at least this part I would push margin bottom. All right, not like that. I didn't want all of them. Oh, because I put it on that. 1 second. There we go. That's better. That way things are separated out a little bit more than this. All right, projects. Super simple approach, which is nothing wrong with that. I might bring this up just a tad bit, maybe around here. Yeah. I would probably try to separate these somehow in terms of color. Right now we have 3 different things happening. We have the name of the project or what it is, and then we have technologies right underneath it, and right underneath that is yeah, it seems like the biggest issue you're facing, because there's the same issue here, is just the white space between your type elements. So again, you know, we take this and we would do margin bottom, maybe 12 pixels. So I already recreate separation in that regard. And then I would take this margin bottom, 12 pixels as well. And then that way the things are a lot easier to read. Also, for the headings generally, those are going to be at least the same font size, not smaller though. So I would match this font size, keep this bold, and then maybe make this smaller. So you reverse what you have right here. You have the larger font size right here, smaller here. I would just flip that, and it'd be easier to read. I think it would flow better. And that's all. Okay, so there's nothing else to scroll. All right, got simplicity down, that's for sure. In contrast, so there's a lot of things that you're doing right. Just a couple things in terms of alignment in relation to type that I would try to fix there. All right, let's do, what time is it? 52 minutes. All right, so I'm going to do one more, and then if I didn't get to your if I didn't get to your review, then just send a super chat and I will do it at the end here. So I'll give some people some time for that. All right, we're going to do this one. All right. Okay, so we have work. We have a navigation here. Name in the middle. Yeah, I like the contrast between this top bar, the white, and this background image. Again, this is one of those cases where, you know, I would just like to see this a little bit darker so we can have more contrast on this element right here. But it's still not bad. You know, might be able to get away, especially on this larger desktop resolution, with increasing the size of both of these a little bit larger, especially this area. That can go quite a bit larger, so that it will also increase the contrast as well. You may not have to darken this. I mean, just make these larger and it'll be easier to see. All right, so everything was, I liked everything happening here, but then coming down here, you just kind of hit with way too large of thumbnails for your projects that you're featuring here. So what I would do is contain these. I mean, they are basically in card kind of containers. Scale these things down by like 50%, 50% less than what they are, and that way it's not going to just. I mean, just you're going from this nice area where there's a lot of room to breathe between the elements, and then you have these large things right here, the cards, for example. So I would take those in, scale them down. You could probably even fit all 4 of them on the same row, and it wouldn't be so much. And then also just having, you know, you have your type here, and then just immediately hitting with these project cards, I would put it like some type of element, like, you know, work I've done, so that people understand exactly, you know, what this next section is about. So I put like a title, and the title should be much more pushed down than from what it is here. So like the title, there would be white space, all this white space, and then the title would be center aligned right here, and then just an equal amount of white space underneath that heading, and then these would start much smaller though. All right. Okay, so let's see here. We have 150 people watching. We're at 55 minutes. I'm done with the portfolio views, again, unless you want to send in a super chat. So if you want to do that, send in a super chat and just mention your Discord username, and I'll find your portfolio to review. And now I'll just check out some comments while I wait. And if nobody sends anything, no big deal. We'll just conclude, and we'll do this next week as always. All right, so where is the chat? All right. James Hetfield had a designer side. I'm not sure what that is in relation to. Am I supposed to look like the dude from Metallica? Or is that in relation to something else? I like James, by the way. For recording and streaming, I use 1920 by 1080. These are 4K monitors, though, that I use, but everything that would take way too much. So, how does a designer communicate a design to a developer? There's a lot of ways to do that. Obviously through mockups. Back in the day, you used Photoshop for creating those mockups, or for if we're talking about UI design. I can do one more, really. But now it's more common to use stuff like that's interactive mockups and prototypes that you can use. Adobe Experience Designs, Sketch, Figma. There's so many out there right now to use. So I would look into one of those tools for communicating design to a developer. Welcome. Abby, so yeah, you could do the card-based approach when it comes to showcasing your projects, or I've seen in some cases it can work if you're just doing straight up thumbnails, like with basically no separation between them. But usually that only works for like photography based thumbnails. Otherwise, if you're having UI designs real close with when they're scaled down, it usually doesn't work like that. So card based is probably usually the way to go. Thank you, Runit. I think that's how you would pronounce it. I have no clue. If you sent in a URL in this chat, it's not going to work. Or I believe it's not going to work, at least. You have to send your stuff in the portfolio submission section. All right, so maybe a minute more. And if somebody wants to help pay for part of my margarita tonight, or whatever I'm going to drink, then I'll do a portfolio review. Otherwise, no big deal. REM units. I don't have a ton of experience. I want to do a video about REM units. Oh, by the way, while I'm here, I came up with this idea that I thought would be really cool. I was in the car driving last night, and I decided to. Yeah, I was thinking about, you know, when you watch a YouTube video and you're trying to learn how to do something, and obviously I teach, you know, how to do design and coding and stuff like that. And lately I've been the student because I've been really getting into music theory. I've been playing guitar a ton. And when I'm watching something like a given video at about a certain specific niche topic, the instructor or, you know, the YouTuber or whoever the hell is teaching me, they'll mention something that I don't know what it is, you know. So for instance, if they have a video that's about, you know, topic A in music theory, but then while they're talking they say something like, they mention topic B that has a relation to it, but they don't explain it. I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Okay, I have to go to Google, I have to get a new tab, I'm going to search for whatever he just said because I want to know what he's talking about, and then I find the information. Well, it'd be really cool to have a video interface or a UI of some sort where it knows exactly what you're talking, what the individual is saying. Here we call that captions, right? On YouTube. And it will automatically, in real time, look at what that person said, and if there are videos with those tags that instructor specified, like the pentatonic scale, if they mention that, that's a music theory thing. If they mention that, then their video will automatically show up as a thumbnail, like in the right-hand side or somewhere off to the corner of the user interface. And that way, if they assemble enough of these tags, they have access, immediate access to all these things. I'm not sure if something like that exists. It would be cool to have that developed, if not. All right. I am developing a question answer. Almost any idea can work. The main question is, can you actually market it and then get traffic? That's usually the biggest problem. So this could work. It just depends on how you implement it, and also you have to have a solid marketing plan when it comes to this stuff. So look into internet marketing big time, and search engine optimization and all that stuff. Design competition. People have been asking about that in the Discord server, about design competitions. And I actually used to do those a ton. I forget how many I had early on in this channel, a couple years ago, dating back from 2014. I guess maybe we can try it out again. I got a lot of submissions and I would just review them for the design challenges. Some of you may remember that. I guess we can try it again. And then maybe we can make that the topic of the next live stream. So I'll give you guys like a week or something, and then we'll do a review and see how that goes. A lot of noise. You could allow the author. I mean, ideally it would be live, transcribed or whatever, to convert any text audio from a user's voice to text, but optionally you can give them the ability to put in the type themselves, and then that way that wouldn't be an issue. No live stream tomorrow. I just do this once a week. No, never done a video about deploying View apps to Heroku. I haven't not done that yet. All right, I'm gonna get going, guys. It's already been about an hour and 5 minutes. So yeah, make sure you tune in on the next. Yeah, Green Sock. Yeah, that's complex stuff. I really need to get into it because it's some really awesome UIs can be made with Green Sock animation. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get going. Make sure, feel free to hang out and idle in this Discord server. We're always, people are always talking in here. Yeah, I'm always in here. So just ping me if you need me. All right, I'll talk to you everybody later.